Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Hermitage Strange Case Files. For some reason it's kind of hard to get out. In the last part, we got a bit of preamble into the story. So there's a girl called Cecile who was visiting, I'm going to say our bookstore, I'm going to say it from the perspective of us being the manager. Came to our bookstore and they were having like strange visions and they were trying to check out this like very rare book about, very unique cultures, like certain island cultures. And we were sort of questioning with her, and we seem to have a bit of something going on in the background as well, which we haven't alluded to yet. But we were like, no, you're lying. Like, there's more to it than this. And the basic story from Cecile's perspective is that she's having beyond realistic visions. She's seeing things that she's never seen before, which are in real life. And recently she saw her friend's corpse, basically like mangled in the art room, I think. And she desperately wants to save her. I think she was called Eloise, because I couldn't pronounce it. Never seen the name before, but now I know. And when we cut off, Cecile has gone for a coffee or something, and we've locked up the bookstore, and I guess we're now behind, I don't know, we're behind the counter on the first floor instead of the ground floor? Who knows? Anyway. What am I up to now? Finish work, case files, thoughts, bookshelf. So the bookshelf is greyed out, I guess. Let's check our thoughts. There's no one around. I finally have some time to think. What a weird woman. Flup's the first line. What a weird dream. She would have had no reason to lie to me if she was just borrowing a book. I mean, she was a weird woman, to be fair. Normal people probably don't believe in dreaming about the past, much less that it could actually be proven. As I just explained to Cecile, it wouldn't make sense to lie like she did, so what she said has to be true. However, it's no surprise that she's worried about a dream in which her schoolmate is in trouble. I mean, beyond trouble, honestly. The situation is pretty unclear. I should find out more about what she's heard and seen. Because, yeah, this is one of the other things we were talking about last time. It was actually kind of interesting, honestly, in its own right. The writing seems really good on this so far. We were talking about saying, like, we can't really take her word for it. We kind of have to draw our own conclusions. But it's kind of hard to draw our own conclusions from something that's happening inside of her head. So we have to, like, corroborate data together with what she's saying and what's going on in the real world. Alright, case files. A day at the Cinnabar. In her dream, Cecile saw a wonderful scene. Cecile believes that they aren't just mere illusions. But how can we prove that? I guess I'm looking for intel in here, but I don't have any yet. Okay. Finish work then. Presume this is nighttime. Hermitage is inferior. Alright. Just take a sip of... Well, just take a rehydration break. You might be, 3 minutes into the video, you're flubbing too many lines. It ruins the atmosphere. You're ruining the smooth jazz. Deep breath. And continue. Hermitage's interior architecture isn't exactly convenient. To get from the storefront to the living room, you need to circle around the outside of the building and walk up to the first floor. If you continue further up, you'll reach the warehouse on the second floor of the house, but that doesn't concern me. Strange to have your warehouse on the second floor, not the ground, or like a basement. That seems like it's going to be really hard to ship in and out of. My daily walks between these 2 points are strenuous. It's my substitute for daily exercise. Walking is exercise, and carrying heavy books, I imagine. The apartment is far from neat, but I'm not the kind of person who can live in a place where every quilt is folded into a perfect square. I chucked my shoes off at the entrance and let myself fall headfirst onto the comfortable, soft sofa. Did you leave your PC on all day, by the way, when you've not been here? Just wasting power. I've been really lazy in the last couple of months, loving the comfy, secluded lifestyle. Nothing's going to change if I myself don't. I really need to get back into my groove and find some form of daily routine. I mean, your room is fantastic actually now that I look into it. If this is your only room, then it's not so fantastic, but you have like a TV, you have a gaming console down here, You have what looks like a jukebox in the corner? That's pretty cool. PC. Some sort of liquor. Nice. I could happily live in a place like this, honestly. Your monitor does look a bit strange, though. It looks like it's fallen down the back of the table. Anyway. Unfortunately, I don't get paid for doing overtime. I could start by taking notes throughout the day. Maybe it'll help me collect my thoughts and get me back on track. What the hell is this? Every event has its own origin, cause, and effect. That terrible scene that Cecile saw is undoubtedly related to the school. I need to investigate further on this basis. This computer is quite old, so you can't do anything with it except access the internet. Oh yeah. Some topics can start a lot of rumours and need to be watched. The TV on the second floor is an old model with a curved screen. A lot of information is hidden in the local news that most people may overlook. I can't rest now, there's no time to waste. I promised to help, so I have to take this seriously. Let's see if there's anything new. I have to stay in this building right by the bookstore for various reasons. There are good and bad sides to it. One good thing is that I'm always surrounded by information, readily accessible in the form of books. And yes, I know it's the 21st century, where you probably even have a good reception on top of Mount Everest. As I turn on the computer, the familiar yellow light of the forum interface appears in front of me. The users here voice their opinions very openly in order to reflect their wide-ranging knowledge, or simply to have some fun. No. What's the website we're on, by the way? STQGE1ST. Yes, my favourite website too. It's giving the administrator one hell of a headache, but I like to sit back and enjoy it. Having said that, the forum has its own problems. There's a maintenance every 5 minutes. The layout is a mess. The moderators quarrel all the time. It's hard to count all the issues. Being so polarised in terms of user experience and content value is a spectacle in every sense. There's always something new and unexpected going on, and the community stays very active. I've got to admit, it's a bit of one of my guilty pleasures is going on to the BBC website and looking at some of the comment sections in there. You see some real crazies in there. In fact, just internet forums in general. It's just, I don't know. It's the people that I talk about that hang around bus stations and have weird stories. Like, you always have a weird story about someone hanging around the bus station. I've mentioned countless times the guy that had a snake at a bus station. You know, they're the people you see on internet forums, just spouting vacuous crap, basically. Or conspiracy theory stuff. Anyway, let's see what I can dig up here today. This is a forum about urban legends. The content will be updated automatically. Alright, it's bus station people then we're looking at. After browsing the post, I can return to the list of posts here. I feel like I've gathered all necessary information. I can close the page here. Since I'm gathering intelligence, I should read all of today's posts. Okay. The rumours board is now open. Obey the rules or die. Someone on a bit of a power trip right now, one of the moderators. Can I click on this? Index relative boards for recommend requests. Topics. There's a huge spider in the house. It's so gross. From GX. By the way, at least this dates it is 2017. Gene Scissors created 3-eyed mosquitoes to help prevent and Okay. 14-year-old Russian model died suddenly. Autopsy indicates poisoning. And what was the original chime of the clock tower called? Okay. I can click on certain things. Oh, this means something. This is probably what they call finding the light in the darkness. I didn't realise it before. After I arrived in the city, I found shelter at a local bookstore. The shrine's famous viewing point was breathtaking beyond belief. So from MD3, you probably all know that the old building on the beach. 2 days ago I talked to the old man who lives there. He told me that when he was young, the chime of the clock tower had a different melody than it does now. Sadly, he can't remember what it was called. He's eager to find out the name of the old melody, and I thought I'd ask you for help. Oh, I've got a scroll bar. I'm afraid it might prove difficult to find. Maybe they were the same clock chimes in Westminster Abbey. It must have been a long time ago that we heard those chimes. Maybe about 50 years ago. Wasn't it changed again in the 90s? Only to be changed back to the current melody. Answer to Supercell. They changed it in the 80s, only to change it back again afterwards. Interesting username, by the way. The Queen of England visited Matto back then, so they wanted to play the Westminster tune for her. So why did they change it back later? I don't think the current melody is as good as that one. Can I reply? No? Can I put an emoji? Can I put... oh, whatever. Oh, it tells you the time as well. Processed in 0.15 seconds. Cool. Right, take me back. 14-year-old Russian model dies suddenly. A murder case. It has nothing to do with the current situation, but I should keep an eye on it nevertheless. This might give me clues for future situations. So, from HGCGY, according to an article in The Sun from the 15th, 14-year-old Russian model Vlada Dziuba? We're going with Dziuba? Died suddenly in Sindhu last month. Initially, this was thought to be due to fatigue, meningitis, or sepsis, but the autopsy report indicated that Vlada may have been poisoned during her 3-month trip to China. After her body was returned to Russia, the preliminary results showed traces of mysterious biological poison in her system. Russian media quoted law enforcement sources. Vlada may have been bitten by a deadly poisonous insect. She may have eaten something, or she may have been poisoned on purpose. Last month, the Russian Investigation Committee, RIC, initiated a criminal procedure in connection with her death. Okay. It was probably a Russian hacker. No! Very funny, Victor. How many likes do you have? Can I report Victor? No, not allowed to report Victor. Who gave her a virus? Physically. Interesting. What deadly insect in the south can kill with a single bite? You know what? You're asking a good question. I can't think of many. I mean, I've not been over towards, like China and Eastern Russia in my life. Are there any insects over there that are dangerous enough to, have a single bite and be lethal? I thought that was mainly reserved for Australia. Anyway, baboon. Is this about that good-looking girl again? Didn't they say it was meningitis last time? How did it turn into poisoning again? Yeah, good point, actually. How can you misdiagnose it as meningitis and then come back to poisoning again? You'd think you'd be able to tell. Wild LED. Maybe weight loss or substance abuse. Many supermodels die of liver and kidney failure. Okay. So is this forum just, to do some internet detective work? And by internet detective work, I mean guesswork. Because it was like, it started off as a news post, and now it's just people, just guessing. A beautiful model was poisoned while out in a big city. That isn't too much of a surprise to me. Really, introduction? I don't think that's a very, common occurrence. Could it have been a tick bite? I read somewhere else that it looks like the cause of death was organ failure. A tick. Wonder if they can find out where it came from. Yeah, so they can arrest it and its family. Okay. Sure. Right, gene scissors created 3-eye mosquitoes. Not the gene scissors were created by them. Now that would be a pretty good story, though. Snoopy. Silenced Daily, October the 16th. Reporter Luzia? Again, could be getting this wrong. According to the official website of the University of California, Riverside, scientists used so-called gene scissors to create Aedes aegypti mosquitoes with altered characteristics. These yellow mosquitoes have 3 eyes and malformed wings. Scientists hope these mosquitoes, by means of gene editing tools, will help prevent and control mosquito-borne diseases. The study was published in the latest issue of Findings from the National Academy of Science. Researchers say that this is the first step in altering mosquito characteristics through gene editing, and their long-term goal is to control mosquito populations and reduce the spread of disease. This approach is not only environmentally friendly, but also cost-effective. Mathematical results suggest that this technique will increase the genetic probability of the target gene by 100%. Again, I don't think scientists would normally, alter the genes of mosquito to give them 3 eyes. They might have just been rummaging around. Even by the time, gene editing would have been, it would have been known, science by 2017. I could see malformed wings if they were messing up with a gene and, they're trying to figure out what it was encoding and what that resulted as, downstream. Probably not going to get a 3-eyed mosquito, though. But, hey, who knows? Too much text. Anyone have a summary? Honestly, African Valley, you're what's wrong with the world. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 9 lines. It's not the entire research article. It doesn't even tell you what the aim of the study was. It basically just tells you the results. That's it. Results and a conclusion. And this is too much. You want it in tweet format, African Valley? Lynn, why not kill the insects while you're at it? Lynn. You can tell if someone didn't pass their GCSE biology exam. Nor the combined sciences, for that matter. Hungry forever. You know what? I feel you. Do you remember how the cockroach came to be? Okay, we found the Looney Tunes. So how exactly does this gene spread? One by one. Crippled wings are one thing, but 3 eyes? I don't think so. 3 eyes on my mosquitoes? That's disgusting. Sounds really random. You know what, Shiro? I agree. 3? 3 eyes? And that's it. Again, 13 queries. It's not just the same 13 people, by the way. I think I would have noticed. And there's a huge spider in the house. It's so gross. Has it been genetically modified to have 3 eyes? GX. It has really thin legs. It's so gross. With little spots all over. I often see it crawling around the kitchen and living room. Please tell me how to exterminate this creature. It's urgent and I can't find anything about it online. Right, I don't want to scroll down. I'm trying to not look at the second comment. My prediction is somewhere you get deodorant can and flamethrower. And maybe at the end of the thread, GX has burnt his house down. And then maybe tomorrow when we come back, it's like, local resident house burns down in insect killing adventure. That's my prediction. MFKO. It wouldn't be there if it weren't... Sorry. It wouldn't be there if there weren't any other insects for it to eat in your house. False. Next. Sounds like white mustache jumping spider. It eats cockroaches. It won't bite even if you catch it. It has creepy eyes. I told you, gene editing. They're out there. They're gene editing the spiders. They're gene editing the flies. They're gene editing the mosquitoes. They're giving them extra eyes. And you know why? Don't you see? Don't you see? That's why they give them 3 eyes. Honestly, that wasn't even funny. Lowly. It's a white mustache jumping spider, which means you probably have other spiders or insects in your house. Just let it be. It's cute. New cyber. Is it faster than a cockroach? I don't know. Let's race them, I guess. I haven't seen one of these spiders in the last few years, so the cockroaches at our place went on a rampage. Can you tell me where you work, please? I would like to avoid it in the future for X12. Also, actually, for what has been a pretty crazy forum, there are a lot of typos in there. Not a lot of wrong there's. Mikatsuki. I think spiders are way scarier than cockroaches. And, Sever Down. What? Spiders are so cute. I would say it's the second most popular pet in China after the cat. Really? Is this true? Is Hindi Con right? I can't believe the spider is the second most popular pet in China after the cat. Surely. Okay. Anyway, is that it? Can I not click on the... No. Not allowed on these. Popular? I wish this was a little bit more clear on what I can and cannot click. I can exit it. Oh, there is a scroll bar here. Never mind. And I can refresh the page, so refresh does work. I guess we're just exiting out now. Looks like it's time for the news. After a series of boring news, I hear something interesting. Next up is a follow-up to the Sky Pit incident. On the 13th of March, 3 PM, a road collapsed in downtown Marto. No one was injured. However, the road repairs are proving difficult due to the extensive damage. At present, the road section remains restricted to all vehicles. All drivers, please plan your route accordingly. In addition, there are rumours that pedestrians witnessed an explosion at the scene. People are reminded to please remain calm and vigilant, and a warning has been issued to criminals not to take advantage of the situation. As of right now, evidence is still being collected and analysed. The department in charge hope to soon have more information for the public as to what exactly caused the collapse. It's rare for roads to collapse in big cities. I know the road section from the report is near a very popular riverside viewing platform. Roads in such highly frequented area are usually kept in much better condition than that. In other words, even small cracks in the ground would usually be an immediate cause for concern. Clearly not made in the UK. You should see some of the potholes they get here, even in cities. And no one bats an eyelid. Not to mention a big hole that leads to a collapse like that. According to the photographs in the news reports, the Sky Pit is nearly 10 meters in diameter and the hole is unusually deep. It doesn't look like it was caused by a normal explosion. It's landworms. I'm telling you, it's a Sarlacc pit. A Sarlacc pit has opened in Marto. It seems to me like they're just stalling. What could have caused the destruction? And not even show up on the surveillance footage of the surrounding area? Something about this seems off. I assume it all happened so suddenly that they didn't have enough time to come up with a better cause. In other words, perhaps the problem isn't finding evidence, but the actual cause of the incident simply cannot be made public. A group of panicked people came running from the north, right towards the people on the viewing platform. Luckily, security guards were nearby to quickly assess and handle the situation, preventing a mass panic. These people, were all shaken up and looked like they'd seen a ghost, but they were such a small group that they were lost in the crowd. Not many people noticed the uproar, and everyone carried on as usual on the other side of the viewing platform. It's really scary how you can feel isolated and unsafe, even when you're out in public, surrounded by so many people. Looks like there are some clues. Let's see. Time to call an old friend. Scarlet, are you there? I need to ask you a favour. I don't have time. ... The planning department as well as the police department have been insanely hectic lately. People are busy. I don't have time to concentrate on anything else. Never mind. If you've been to any of those places lately, you should have what I'm looking for. Hold on, wait a minute. Is it about that incident? Well, I've got a bad feeling about this. Even if you're interested in it, things are only going to get more complicated from here on out. How about tomorrow? Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow morning. If it really has something to do with you. Okay. Done. All I can do now is wait. She can be trusted, but it's likely that she'll be grumpy and won't stop complaining. Alright, at least I made some progress. Time to turn off the TV. Aha, so I have now a relationship that I can go into. What is this little thing in the bottom left? Oh, it's the address book. Okay. 40% battery, you're going to have to charge this soon. Right. Okay. Recently contacted persons and events are logged here. Scroll up middle mouse wheel to zoom in the view. When zoomed in, use the mouse drag to pan the view. Please click a photo to view a character's details or recall an event. And scroll middle mouse wheel down to get out. Okay. So, we have the Nightmare with Cecile, the club member is Eloise, and teachers and students are currently unknown, and just me at the bottom down here. Right, so I can click on these people. So Cecile, 16, female high school student. Langzi, place of birth. A second-year student at Phoenix High School has since newly transferred into the school. She has been having difficulties. Yeah, we know all this. I chose a close relationship with Eloise. She's 17, Eloise. So a third-year student at Phoenix High School. How do we know she's from Zindu, by the way? Dignified and well-mannered, she comes from a good family. As the president of the elite art club, she has a close relationship with a new member and transfer student, Cecile. I'm just intrigued what I have on me. Right, I'm 31, male, master's degree, bookstore manager. Place of birth, Jiangdu. The current owner of the weird old bookstore of Wukang Road. You can hardly ever see him leave his apartment. He leads a casual life, resulting in irregular opening hours of the store. My Chemical Romance. Welcome to the Black Parade. Okay, don't know what this is doing on my board, but sure. I think now I can just end the day, right? Or can I click on thoughts now? Do I have a thought? Phew, I should smoke less or give it up. So unhealthy. Cecile poses a difficult problem. Despite her young age, I can agree with her method of trying to prove her assumptions. The question is, where exactly am I going to find any evidence? I'm not sure if the book itself will come in handy. Dwelling on it won't change anything. Maybe just try and gather more information. After all, it's more important to find out the source of the vision than to think about what's happening in it. Okay. So maybe thoughts is just like a hint in case I get stuck. And I don't have any clues yet in here. I didn't know if... Oh, I also have this. Oh, I have tasks now? Okay. Interesting. I don't have any clues about this case, I guess. Okay, let's just end the day then. Tuesday. Right. That's what I thought. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come back here specifically. Please forget my earlier question. Since the greatest in the world exists in everything, being able to experience this is absolute bliss. Yesterday and today, across the land and stars, nature embraces ever more greatness. What a state of harmony and beauty. It sounds very positive if you ignore this location. She can't see the other's eyes, but the shadows beneath them are deep. We do what we were brought up to do, and the world is foolish and cautious. She can't see the other's eyes, so she doesn't know what they're thinking. Even so, somehow she feels that there isn't much of a difference between them. Please join me in reciting these words. I don't blame you for seeing red, but there's never any harm in showing respect. It's a big day, and the weather is bad, but especially respectful. Yes. Be sure to do that. The girl takes a deep breath and reads the illogical syllable on her hand aloud. There are worse things to worry about than this. I don't know what that's about. Finally. This side is done. I suddenly felt the need to clean up around here. Not because it was that messy, but because I needed something to calm my mind a little. She said she'd be here soon, but her work schedule is always pretty busy. Unfortunately for me, she's always in high demand. Woman with sunglasses. Still busy doing useless chores? Speak of the devil. I hear a familiar voice from behind me and feel her placing a hand on my shoulder. This place isn't really yours, so you don't have to be so thorough. Unlike for some people, it isn't really my style to do things half-heartedly. I look up from the pile of books and get up from amidst a cloud of dust. The air in this place is horrible. You know how unhealthy that is, right? Also, smoking is gonna, discolour all the books. That's why it's even more important that I clean up. It's just going to get worse otherwise. I'm dooming myself by admitting this aloud. It's one of the biggest drawbacks of leading a sloppy life. The visitor just stands there, silent. Then she starts walking around. Meet Scarlet, chief legal consultant at Golden Maxime law firm. Her monthly income is higher than most people's annual salary. In private, she's a tough nut to crack. Okay, I didn't need your life story about this. Conversations. Looks like nothing's really changed around here. Scarlet takes a look around the room and seems at a loss for words. As always, she's projecting a strong, stoic aura, looking very competent and professional in her suit. That aside, it's obvious that she is still the same old Scarlet, a telltale sign being the simple fact that she hasn't taken off her sunglasses since she walked in. The bookcases in the back area on the ground floor are lit up by a table lamp, so that you can actually see your hand when you hold it out in front of your eyes. I just hope she never forgets who her old friends are. Even though you haven't dropped by in 2 months, you should see that there's no real room for any big changes. It's too packed in here. Alright, enough of this. What can I do for you? She moves the ashtray aside and sits down. I can feel her looking at me from behind her sunglasses. I mean, what do you mean feel? They're clear. You can see through them. They're not like, tinted sunglasses. I mean, they're slightly tinted, but they're tinted yellow. Although her whole look is somewhat intimidating, Scarlet is quite famous among the lawyers in Marto. There's a reason for that. She's well informed and well connected. Last month, a mysterious collapse occurred on one of those roads. There are rumours of a huge explosion floating around, but there is no actual evidence. Unfortunately, it seems as if the surveillance tapes were damaged. At least that's the official story. A pretty blatant lie, if you ask me. They'd never admit it, but they need someone they can trust to manage and clean up the mess, away from prying eyes. In the last few years, you've been working with several administrative departments. You know your way around the industry, and have become somewhat of a household name, meaning you've got connections. I don't think it's wrong of me to assume that such a delicate matter will end up in your hands sooner or later. Scarlet blushes. She knows that I'm right. I lower my voice. So, I need first-hand information, and I can't think of anyone else except you. You really do know me quite well. Her voice sounds tired. I silently take the ashtray, put out my cigarette, and wait for her reply. You're completely right. I do have the video. When we talked yesterday, I already guessed that you'd want it. She rummages through her bag and takes out a hard drive. I reach for it, but can't get my hands on it. Now, no need to hurry. It's not that I don't trust you. You know I do. But you're going to have to give me a good reason as why you want it. You know there's a cover-up. Something they're trying to hide. I need to find out what it is. I need to find out the truth. That's all. I'm being honest with you. So, there's trouble brewing again? I'm like a magnet for all things strange. There's nothing I can do about that. It's all a little much. First, you're responsible for the fate of the world, then you suddenly disappear. Outright vanish. Give it a couple more years and you'll be friends with Loch Ness Monster, hidden away in isolation somewhere. I decided to ignore a quirky remark for now. Anyway, that's just one thing. You're talking about the little girl? I think the fact that she came to a bookstore instead of seeing a doctor shows that this is just a child's fantasy gone awry. Oh, come on. Would you really describe her condition as normal? And don't tell me that hearing about her experiences left you cold. The way you're willing to look out for evidence so stubbornly shows me that you've already chosen to believe her. Am I right? Ever since I saw those things last year, calling myself a normal, run-of-the-mill folklore researcher feels like somewhat of an understatement. There's plenty of strange things out there. It's a mysterious world we live in. I'd rather go out and make a fool of myself than ignore something and make a big mistake. Scarlet bows her head, deep in thought, unconsciously fiddling around with her collar. Well, at first, I thought... Oh, no, it's nothing. I thought of something, but it's got nothing to do with the girl. She looks up and puts the hard drive in her bag again. What's this about? You're not going to change your mind, are you? Come on, who do you take me for? Let's go upstairs. Though you're welcome to try and use your superpowers to see what's on this drive without a computer. Interesting. Store manager's superpowers, question mark? Scarlet takes the key out of my hand and opens the door to the second floor. The fact that she knows her way around is no surprise. After all, she's one of the people who helped me move. Though, helped is a relative term in this case. Is it just me, or does this place seem a lot emptier than the last time I was here? Well, it's hard to explain to someone who's baffled by the notion of cleaning up. The computer doesn't have a password. Scarlet sits down at the desk and starts up the computer. At least the software's up to date, so there shouldn't be any problem with the drive. What exactly do you want to take a look at? Well, obviously the moment before and after the collapse. No, I meant that is in where? There's more than one camera. I raise my eyebrows. Oh, then I guess the people working on the surveillance equipment all took a break at the same time when it happened. Start where the two northern roads intersect, along the Riverside Highway to the south, all the way to the monitoring points on the edge of the viewing platform. Wow, pretty exhaustive. More than a dozen surveillance camera feeds pop up on the screen one by one. Okay, now just help me align the videos in real time, leading up to the moment of the collapse. This might be a mini-game. I'm a bit concerned. By the way, are you not going to get arrested and sent to prison? You're sharing out what appears to be very sensitive information right now. To just me. I guess I'm not just a random schmuck, but still. Are you not worried about this, Scarlet? Easier said than done. You think it's all just one simple click like in the movies? Scarlet grumpily sits in front of the keyboard and drags the videos into the correct order, one by one, all sorted by timecode. The old computer, which could easily be considered a relic by now, is starting to run really hot, with the fans working on overdrive. So judging from this, the rumours about it having been an explosion are true. You'll find out soon enough. Scarlet presses play, and then part of the screen suddenly turns white. Turns out things aren't quite so simple, and can't be explained by the rumours floating around. What appears on the screen looks more like a lightning bolt crashing down than a fireball. I start looking for additional information on the other videos. The people look so scared. Even if you're the most courageous person on Earth, it's normal to make a run for it in a situation like that. Nobody even thinks about turning back to look for others. They're frantically running around like a bunch of panicked rabbits. Pay attention to those people there. They're heading south, towards the big crowd. I can see several shadows almost being swallowed up by the debris. Two people trip and fall while running away, but the others make it. In the final surveillance scene, several men in police uniforms can be seen, keeping the people away from the crowd. They're carrying something in their mouths. It looks like whistles. Stop, this is it. Sorry, stop! This is it! I should have been more dramatic there. The timecode comes to a standstill at last. 14:58:18. Yeah, this has got to be it. I turn off the computer to stop the annoying noise of the fan. Nice to hear you found something. Mind sharing it with the class? It's just a guess, a suspicion. Let me get your thoughts on it. Scarlet nods eagerly and without hesitation. Even though we've been separated for a long time, we still have a tacit understanding, even during the most difficult times. Her approach has always been the same, and it always works. I take out my notebook to check the information that I've gathered so far. Ah, here we go. Illusions of nothing to do. Clock tower chime. The viewing platform incident. Cecile wanted to make sure she wasn't seeing any real events in her dreams. Cecile wanted to make sure she wasn't... however, she would never be able to find concrete evidence on her own. Nevertheless, there was a certain detail in the dream Cecile described to me that she shouldn't have known in advance. I'm sure of that. The information Scarlet gave me confirmed that it happened in reality. By following this logic, it isn't difficult to draw some conclusions about the illusion. With the left mouse button, I can drag and drop the information from the right into suspicious sections on the left. The right information can solve the problem. Let's give it a try. Okay, I think it's the viewing platform incident. Right? Oh. Maybe wrong? Okay, I'm very confused. Do I just drag it all in? I drag it all in. So, the viewing platform incident. At 3 PM sharp on October the 13th, a bizarre road collapse occurred in the intersection of Highway and Marteau. However, hidden security footage shows that there was an actual explosion, and more than a dozen witnesses fled in panic. We know the chime of the clock tower changed on Marteau Beach, and it plays the Rising Sun tune, and it was changed several times in the 90s. And the illusion Cecile had was far beyond ordinary. Along with Rising Sun properties, many people rushed from the north to the viewing platform. I could clearly see the expression on their faces. Alright. Suspicion approved. Realistic dreams. Her visions reflect the past. Cecile had a very similar vision. The panicked people running, the viewing platform, the whistles. She said Sunrise was playing somewhere. That's an opportunity to verify the truth. Oh, I see. I didn't quite get that piece of information. Scarlet has given the situation some thought as well. The nearby clock tower should be right in time to play Sunrise. Even if she found out about that in some other way, the commotion was officially due to common road damage. That's a statement given by the authorities. A student walking around downtown on a Thursday afternoon, if she was there when it happened, her absence from school would have been noted down somewhere in the school's records. You won't seriously make me get the class attendance records, will you? Will I? But seriously, even if she was lying, I don't think anyone would ever go to such lengths. The road damage was reported, the panic crowd wasn't. Those are two separate incidents. The latter was not reported anywhere, yet she still connected the two and knew the details because of her dream. There are only two possibilities while Cecile made that connection. She's aware of the two events, somehow even unreported one. Sorry, even the unreported one, and is actively concocting a dream that is realistic. Or she really just happened to know exactly what was going on because of the dream. And even if gossip is being spread about the accident, there's always some time after it happens before it ends up on the news. It took the people who ran away about 2 minutes to get to the viewing platform, and they were quickly stopped by the security guards. It's not a busy street. There's not a lot of commuting going on there during the window of time, so it didn't even attract that much attention. Nobody's really talking about it. Even the few people that were there. It's hard to find anything more than a small snippet of what happened there. Cecile couldn't have known about it from any of the news channels. Only someone who was present could make up such a lie, and there's no way for her to have been there. Process of elimination. Now you know what I mean. We could both use some fresh air. I step outside to have a break. I'll start smoking probably. You can smoke inside, but as you know, it's unhealthy. You quit smoking half a year ago. I'm just trying to be a gentleman here. Scarlet chuckles and sits there with a smirk on her face. I can't even imagine how Dan and Nico would have reacted if they'd heard you say that. Just trying to show that I'm a multifaceted man. I scratch my head. Scarlet seems uncomfortable on the sofa. She walks towards the window, stretches a bit, and then slowly makes her way towards the door. Actually, yeah. By the way, Scarlet, your help means a lot to me. I wish I could repay you somehow. Good God, you're really hell-bent on this, aren't you? She lets out a defeated sigh. Ah, this road to collapse, or rather, exploded. There are many people on the investigation team. I'm not in charge of it. But I always had a feeling that something was off. I don't know why. I see what she means. The evidence on the surveillance material basically breaks the laws of physics. The only thing left was a deep hole. It makes no sense. No victims, no rubble, no burned debris. Seeing all these people running makes it easy to assume that there'd be solid evidence. But there's no proof of anything happening. Scarlet could easily pretend not to have noticed anything and kept looking the other way, continuing to collect money from several government agencies, intending on keeping a lid on things. But I know her too well. Turning a blind eye isn't her style. That's why she's my friend. When it comes to attracting trouble, we're probably not even on the scale. I'm like you in that regard. I'd rather do anything I can to uncover the truth than look away. That'd be a mistake, and I'd regret it for the rest of my life. Scarlet stares at me with a serious look on her face. There's no doubt in her eyes. Okay, so what do you want me to do? Intelligence analysis isn't my strong suit, so if there are any new clues later, you'll have to piece them together. No problem. That was my plan anyway. Alright then. We'll have to sort through this whole mess somehow. By the way, she's on, like, you know, a 6-figure salary. And it's like, I'm not really good at my job. Can you just do it, by the way, store manager? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, fine. Don't worry about it. Earn your keep, Scarlet. There's no way we can just drop this now. Cecile deserves an answer. Be patient like a Buddha is something I was often told, sorry. That's not exactly me, is it? Well, we just have to wait for my face to become a little chubbier, and I'll take on the role of Buddha then. Deal? She smiles, but it's a bitter smile. She knows how much is at stake here. I know you're just trying to calm the atmosphere. I'm sorry. I just don't know how to respond to this right now. It's all a bit much to take in. You're right. I'll make sure Cecile explains everything in more detail soon. She probably left some things out for fear of not being taken seriously. Now she doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Cecile didn't go into much detail about the origin of the dream. We don't have time to keep things hidden any longer. Lies can be made up out of thin air, but this is connected to something real, something tangible. Even if it really was just a regular accident, I need to know. I need clarity. So, Phoenix High School is the name of the place, right? There are rumours floating around about some really bad things going on among the students. A really twisted sense of community. I'd like to get to the bottom of it. That little girl named Cecile is being bullied? Yeah, the others in her art club are completely out of line. So far it seems as if only bad words and some malicious pranks. That's already bad enough. Who knows with these kids? You know, soon they might murder Eloise. You know, one thing from another, you have bad words, pranks, murder. Scarlet frowns. My words must have caused her concern. That's terrible. Are all kids these days so cruel? Again, don't tar everyone with the same brush, Scarlet. Bad behaviour can have a number of reasons. Some of those kids probably just can't help it. I bet some of them just do it to fit in with the group, because they're afraid of becoming targets themselves. I understand that. So, let's do some digging, shall we? If possible, I'd really appreciate if you didn't get us into any legal trouble. Oh, come on. I'm a professional, and you know it. Scarlet picks up her leather bag and steps out the door. The sun shines down on her, and she carefully readjusts her sunglasses, like a model looking for the perfect shot. I guess nothing really changed. I'm glad you're helping with this. It feels good. Like a reunion of sorts. Not the circumstances, by the way, I'd want a reunion here, store manager. By the way, can we get your name at some point? Or I'm going to start calling you SM or Sam for short. Take care of yourself. You too. Think about yourself every once in a while. Don't let the hard work get to you. Scarlet waves her hand as she walks away, not even turning her head. With Scarlet's help on this case, we should have new results soon. I get a little bit of fresh air, and then head back to the store. Okay, I think I'm going to call it there for this part. So we've found out about this new character, Scarlet. We have some sort of history with it. It kind of sounds like we dated, honestly. Or that maybe we're in some sort of detective agency with like two others. Their names escape me right now. One was like Nico and I can't remember the other one, the fourth. And she was suggesting we had some sort of weird superpower. I'm sure that will unravel as we go on. But we've also now proven beyond like reasonable doubt, so at least to ourselves, that Cecile's vision happened in reality. She saw a vision of the past. Anyway, which is actually kind of worrying because that probably means her friend has been murdered, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, we'll find out in future episodes. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Everything helps me out. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.